everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is ER Baine, and I'm creating a little session. It will be short. I'm sorry that sometimes I just get flustered and I just start to babble. I come with everything that I need to do and say here, and then I have a blah, 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 blah. So I hope I'm not doing that for today. Um, I know I'm keep coming here with some sad news. I find of late. This was supposed to be such a joyous and joyful um vlog channel. So, but I this is a part of me and my life and what's engaging me right now. So I feel that I need to release and let you know certain things that's going on in my life. Recently, this past week, another one of our pets passed on. Yes, I know it's unusual. We have so many pet deaths. It is very unusual. And I'm dealing with something right now where, well, certainly it's kind of it's in this fear of if you what I can explain to you is if you've seen online or on the news that recently Danny Matheson was convicted of rape. He's a member of the Scientology religion, and you hear a lot of, especially where Liramani is concerned. I hope I pronounce her name correctly. She speaks of being stalked, harassed by persons belonging to Scientology. That, believe it or not, is something I've been going through for the past few years myself. I explained recently that I was strangled, I was threatened. In fact, I have something here that I can show you where someone actually stabbed. I was back in 2017, 2018, I became a security guard. Believe it or not, well, I can say believe it or not because I have a degree in IT. And because of my MS, I thought I would try this out. I was trying out a number of things. It was totally nonsense thinking, I believe, but something sort of drew me to the idea, and a part of me, I can't really let on, like a fear. It was fear based, and it was unknown, the fear of the unknown and what was going to happen, and fear of just this idea that I was going to become this cripple, and because of my MS, and I am so shocked that I am not in a wheelchair right now. I thought by now I'll be in a wheelchair, or I'll be laying in bed an invalid, and my mom would be feeding me like my mom would have to take care of me until she can't take care of anybody. She has really bad arthritis. She can't take care of anybody right now. Anyway, long story short, that's a Trinidadian saying. Long story short, uh, I became a security guard, and kind of had it in my idea in my head that the company that I joined, MTS, was supposed to be this um, incredible. Excuse me, sorry about that. Yes, that's my ringtone. Yeah, it is this. It's supposed to be this incredible um, security company. Well, long story short, it was not at all. Sorry about that. So anyway, this okay. So um, long story short, my apologies. It was not what it appeared to be, but I was in my enlightenment phase, and if you follow the teachings of Buddha, I thought I was making a lot of bad decisions for myself. Yeah. So I wanted to find out what was I doing wrong? Why was I doing these things and making bad decisions and bad choices? And so you know what Buddha says is that you don't need to be poor, destitute, begging on a street. All you need to do is to be poor. So kind of like getting down to brass tacks and just to be like in a certain type of situation. I thought that it would make me realize what I was doing wrong with my life. Yeah, I should just put money towards talking to a therapist. But anyway, when I joined MTS, I was placed at Malik Secondary, which is funny because I was told during my training, it had like 2 weeks of training, that you wouldn't be put somewhere close by to where you live, because they feel that officers would run away, like really like leave where they're working and go to their home a lot, and they would not go to their location because they're so close to home. But I was placed near my where I was living, and a lot of nonsense, I have to say, transpired when I was there. Like my pocket diary got stolen, my jewelry got stolen. Sorry. Oh, sorry for that. You know that this room is part bedroom, part kennel. Yes, we have 8 dogs and one cat at the moment. This is Nico. Hi. Yes. So recently, one of our dogs, Gigi, she gave birth to 5 puppies, and one sadly passed away. Like I said, all the deaths appear on the surface to be regular deaths, but Taylor had a really painful death. So did Georgie. All of them are made to look as if they're natural deaths, as if they would like totally welcome me. But my pet Taylor, she was given. I don't have the total results of what was wrong with her. I just know she was fed something very bad, like a poison, and we don't know how and like how she got it. And it was, but her symptoms, as far as I can tell from what I researched, looked as if it was poisoning, and it looked as if someone was giving her poison on a regular basis, slowly poisoning her. So, like I said, let me get back to being a security guard here in my hometown of Mova. If you look up, if you're not familiar with Mova, Mova is, I mean, long time the people were not bad people, is what I can say. I used to teach adult literacy in the area. I've taught adult literacy to persons in bad areas, like where I live, like Beetham, Mova, Laventil, all persons from all walks of life, and they were nice, very good, sincere individuals. But there's something with Trinidadians on a whole, they have a fear of missing out on bad behavior. So if there's a chance for them to do something tricky, nonsensical, they would choose to do it. There's always that risk. Every other Trinidadian. I think I mentioned it before, where I think I used to really wonder about them. Maybe there's something in the water. But generally, the Trinidadian population is kind, loving persons and willing to help. But because of the crime situation, it's really just like in neighborhoods where they have a really vulgar crime situation. All of Trinidad right now has a very bad crime situation. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of murders happening every year for the past 20 years. During my time as a child and growing up as a teenager, that was not the case. There were not hundreds of murders covering past 20 years. It's just that's how it is. I think the murder rate is 500 or something this year so far right now. I'm not sure. It's around there or coming close. So basically, that changes the psyche of a society. Um, yeah, it's very disappointing. However, what I'd like to say to you now is that um, I don't think I really focusing on the camera. I should focus on the camera. Yes. Um, People do bad things to people. Okay, that's how it is. God doesn't want bad things happen to people. People do bad things to people. Um, People are generally good, but like I said, at least in my experience, they're generally good and good natured, and it's a sad thing that what I'm about to tell you is happening here to me in this neighborhood. I'll tell you where it started, where I believe it started. I had mentioned to you, and this is where the idea for Moko Jambi came from. Oh, sorry for that. I should have given something to be quiet. Right, so my puppy died the same day I took this picture. So since I have been stalked and harassed, I have been taking pictures of the persons who are stalking and harassing me, right? And the this is the clearest picture. Let me see if I can block it. Clearest picture so far. That person who's sitting in the back, right? And this person. So the way the stalking is happening, and I really feel it for Leah Remini, because you're in this situation where you're being harassed and stalked, and it's the way the harassment and the stalking is okay. The way the harassment and the stalking is constructed, even if you see it, you don't know it's happening. So on my website, I had put a disclaimer page with a image of another phone logging into my phone. So what's happened is that there is surveillance surrounding me, And I will link the surveillance and the harassment to the Trinidad and Tobago government. I will do that soon, okay? So this is just to like an explainer video of hold on, I'm just trying to bring up Google Classroom. The Google Classroom or Docs, right? So if I say something inside my home, someone on the outside would repeat that or have a general conversation within 1 to 2 days around me, and a conversation to include that conversation around me, to make me feel as if, you know, they're watching me, the surveillance, they're watching me all the time and that kind of thing. So Leah Remini spoke of how she's always thinking, if this person comes up to her and says, you know, is this person a part of Scientology? So there's always this like hectic thing going on in her head. Hey. Maybe because like I said, I was abused when I was younger, and I practice avoidance. I just have this way of ignoring persons around me and things that happening. So what they expected to do was to have been doing what they're doing, and I would have gone but that was not the case. I'm not like Leah Remini, how she's like, oh my gosh, it's this person. So anyway, once I'm in a situation where I get the impression, and if you notice I don't know if you can make it out with the image I showed you just now, but the majority of the times the persons who appear to be involved in the harassment are either police, security, or army. I'm telling you, the only way to be able to deduce that this harassment is taking place, I have been taking names and pictures of these persons around my community. The only way is to hook these people up to a polygraph and ask them what they said and why they said it. That is the only way. I remember years ago, where I was watching, there's a favorite episode of mine of Seinfeld, right? Hold on a second, I'm just looking up this. Right. So there's an episode of Seinfeld. Hold on, let me see if now my laptop is giving trouble, so I'm back to my old laptop. You do not want to see the condition this laptop is in. I can't believe it's even coming on. And the dogs have a tendency of running across the laptop when it's on the bed. And yeah. So, of course, this is just the musings of a crazy person unless this is actually investigated. I do believe that eventually this is going to lead to the death of myself and my family. I don't see the persons who are doing this just eventually giving up. The whole idea is to harass me, and I'm going to tell you exactly why they're harassing me. This is what I believe why they're harassing me. And a lot of persons who are involved, I would like to think they don't know why they're doing what they're doing. I'd like to think that they're just caught up in some weird game that they believe that they're taking part in. Right? That's what I would like to believe. However, this is all about my time at MTS. And it's like I said, I practice avoidance. So even though Matura Singh had strangled me, I had planned to put that behind me. In fact, when he had strangled me, I didn't even contact the police. It was someone else. First of all, the attack was very visible. I believe it was a planned attack, right? Um, I don't know if Matura Singh had planned to strangle me, but that he did. And who this the visuals, the surround the way Malik Secondary is like a fort, to say that surrounded by hills, so everybody and they all their people is a big community where houses are to the back and they could just look down at the compound. So I know very well that a ton of persons witnessed Matura Singh strangle me, a ton. However, this is so they saw what was happening and someone contacted the police. I did not contact the police. It didn't even cross my mind to contact the police. So only when I spoke to someone on the phone and I told them what had happened, they advised me to go to the police, make a statement, go to the hospital, and plus to go to the hospital. So later on, my neck ballooned. I actually had a thyroglosal cyst on my neck. You see, where I had surgery to move it, and it ballooned to a watermelon, and I couldn't speak. I was looking like this, and I couldn't speak, and I couldn't move the time I couldn't move my neck and my back. So yeah, but I been kind of like the practicing the avoidance thing. Like when I was younger, I had really just planned to ignore my pain, ignore my suffering, go on, and hopefully put the whole incident behind me. What can I say? Yeah. So this is ironic that that had happened, but I'd like to. So when I think about it, I wonder like, how did I get here? I have to pull up my documents to show you that I graduated at a I don't mind saying this at all. I know it's not kosher to say your GPA, but it was a 2.96. I have a degree in IT. I'm still studying. I had this whole joke about this one of my stories. I have a certification in ITIL. I know my IT and I know coding and stuff. So but I got this idea too. If there's something that you could study called ASIS, and there are different levels, and there's a worldwide certification, right? So you can do it in ASIS and security, and then you can move on to somewhere else and do it on a different part of the world. Is world recognized, right? In security, and persons who do ASIS make a lot of money. But if you would check with even Amalgamated Security, there's a local security company here in Trinidad and Tobago website. You see that they boast about sending all of their managers are certified in ASIS and CPP, and there's different levels. But for those kind of things, you have to be in the security industry a certain length of time. And so, but since then they've changed it, so I could get one right now. I could go and I could do the course and I could get certified right now if I choose to. So what I like to say. Anyway, I hope I'm speaking coherently and talking to you. I don't like doing these things in the evening time. Like I said, I just blab on. I think what I did one last time was 10 o'clock at night and I couldn't keep track. If I was speaking clearly, then kudos. Anyway, I'm way past the time. So our loving puppy passed on. But at the end of the day, the story always goes like this. They get ill, and as time goes on, sicker and sicker, and then they pass on. So, same thing with my pet cat, Georgie and Taylor, and didn't know they, and in all situations the vets could never tell what our pets had. Initially, they couldn't tell what Georgie had, and then someone came and said, "Oh, she has feline leukemia." And then, so aside from that, and same thing with Taylor, no one knew, like, and her illness was deteriorating rapidly, and same thing with this pet here, five healthy puppies. All of a sudden, this one, we just assumed didn't get enough milk, which doesn't make any sense. If I show you pictures of all of them, five of them clamoring, getting thing, you could see, yeah, they were going good. So the picture I showed you, I took a picture. That picture the morning of persons I believe was stalking me and harassing me, and then next thing I know, I got a call, one of our puppies had died. So it's either someone who has access to the house to come in to um, harm our pets, or it's someone close to us. I suspect someone close to us, and oh my gosh, this person would make a great villain character, silent character villain. They whoop. Okay. All right. So yeah, sorry for that. Okay, so this person is the typical, and you can write this. I'm gonna tell you my story, and you can write it if you'd like. Okay, this person has ingratiated themselves. I hope I'm saying that right. Let me look it up. It says ingratiated. To gain favor, yes, or favorable acceptance for by deliberate effort. Yeah, you see, I know my vocabulary. So this person has ingratiated themselves to us. My entire family is gaga over this person. They run errands, they do things, they're close. I mean, so this person has, and the joke about this person is that if it wasn't for this person, we wouldn't have so many dogs to begin with. Because we had dogs years ago, lots of dogs, one after the next in our lives. But then I just, as an adult, myself and my sister, we just tired of raising dogs. Is a just a joke about a short story on YouTube and stuff about, you raise a dog, put you through pressure, and then they pass on, and is the greatest sadness in the world. Yeah, that's what we were dealing with. So we had a lot of dogs in our house, but those dogs lived to be 17, 16 years. Taylor herself, we don't understand how she got what she got, because um, she never left the house. Taylor was here for months and she never left the house. She was a house pet and she never went for her walk. The dogs went for walks and stuff. She didn't go for a walk yet in her lifetime of living here. And we don't understand where she got what she got to have harmed her. Didn't make any sense. And the way and ah, sorry about that. So yes, so yeah, it made zero sense. So in from what I believe that these weird people are harassing me, are harassing me, are also poisoning the pets. I know it's weird, and I got the impression that at the end, well, The victim in the Scientology case with Danny Matheson said that they they also poisoned her pets. So this is a common scenario of persons who are being stalked and harassed. That persons would kill their pets, harm their pets, take their pets away, that kind of thing. And it's really sad. And now that I'm talking to you about what has transpired with my pets, remember I had said that what they were doing were killing my pets at the same around the same time that I was strangled in 2018. Yes. So what they've moved to now is to just kill the pets. So what they will do is to make it seem as if, we're going to kill the pet, but not at the same time you strangle. So you can't say that. So next time my pet might die because of getting knocked down in the road for some reason or something, right? So it's just anyway. I was back to this suspicious character that has access to our pets. And another thing that they have also done. They are the ones that suggested that before we even got so many dogs, this this street. I'm not blaming the street on any of or anything. I'm I'm just saying this street you could actually hollow this out and cut it out and put things in it and disguise things inside of it. And this notorious character who no one is sees as suspicious every evening, and I didn't like it at all, would come in, take treats like this, and give it to the dogs. Yeah. So you can hollow this out. You can cut this out, and you could put anything inside of this. This person drives my family everywhere. If there's something to needs to be done, yeah, they're right there to do it. I could never. Hmm, I can't say I've ever not had someone like that in my life, but it's just weird that this person has become so. What's the word? I have the word just at the tip of my tongue. But anyway, um, yeah. So this character, and he even so there's a hierarchical person in my life that was in my life. Yay, they're out of it right now. And this person, like I said, that has ingratiated themselves in our lives, would often repeat things that this hierarchical person would say to try to motivate the situation in that hierarchical person's favor. So this person, let me give an example. This person said, um, if there's a race and this person says something particular, this suspect that's ingratiated themselves into my home life repeat exactly word for word, as if and my family would think, oh my gosh, this person is so smart. That is not the case. It was only later when I understand and I realized, what was happening with this weird connection. Now this suspect it doesn't have to be the person who's killing pets. It could be someone who has access to a household. And like I said, there were multiple persons who were harassing me. It was like a game to them to get somebody to say and do something, some kind of nonsense in my life at that time, pertaining to something I've discussed or something that's happened in my house. Recently, someone said, oh, they they had to give up a dog because they couldn't watch it because they were working such long hours, and the dog got sick. I can't remember the person said that or they died. Dog died, but no, the dog didn't die. But that's the kind of nonsense that's going on. Like, it will touch on my life, but it wouldn't seem like harassment. Understand? That's not harassment. If you film the person, it's not an assault, right? It wouldn't look like a regular normal assault. However, let me see if I can bring up the 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 definition of verbal assault. Verbal assault the legal definition is a form of domestic violence that occurs if such an individual intentionally tries to damage the mental or emotional well-being of someone through their words, spoken or written. Right? That's what verbal assault is. So, the intent of these persons are to cause damage, are to damage the mental or emotional well-being of me, right? And that is how they're doing. They're committing, every one of these individuals are committing verbal assault. Whether they don't know, they may not know that they might think they're doing something that they could get away with. I'm positive, if you were to film Leah Remini going throughout her day, and the Scientology persons are stalking her, they will be coming up to her and telling her certain things and doing certain things. But it's not in a way where it will come off as or be interpreted as assault or harassment. It will be random persons, not the same person all the time. Every time she leaves the house, it'll be a different person doing and saying something different. And it will be a process, a stalking process, where the person is being caused mental and emotional harm, right? So that is what is taking place in my life right now. Let me see if I can bring up, oh, forget to bring up. Okay. Alright, I'm trying to bring up a scene here. I'm trying to bring up a scene here. Hold a moment. Okay. I know. So I was trying to, sorry, I'm just been trying to, since my last computer crash, trying to get this just running a certain way. Um, Let me see if I could do this manually right now. Bear with me. I'm trying to make it so that you all could see my screen. So you all could see what the browser and everything that I've pulled up. But that is not happening. I really wanted to I really wanted to do some typing today. I don't know what it is that I'm doing wrong with this thing here. I have no idea. Anyway, I had also brought up a scene from Seinfeld where Seinfeld, hold on a second. Okay, oh yeah, so but this anyway. Um, Hold on. Okay, I think I have it. Okay. Are you seeing that there? I hope you are. Where is it? Okay. Okay. All right. So this is how I thought it was growing up.
What's your name?
Jerry Seinfeld,
What is your address?
129 West 81st Street.
Did Kimberly steal Joe's baby?
I don't know.
Did Billy sleep with Alice's best friend?
I don't know.
Did Jane's fiance kidnap Sydney and take her to Las Vegas? And if so, did she enjoy it?
I don't know.
Did Jane sleep with Michael again?
Yes! Yes, that stupid idiot! He left her for Kimberly! He slept with her sister! He tricked her into giving him half her business, and then she goes ahead and sleeps with him again! I mean, she's crazy! How could she do something like that? I mean, that Jane, oh, she just makes me so mad!
Okay, so yeah, so I love, 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 love Seinfeld. Yeah, I love Seinfeld. Um, it was so much. It's just so much fun reading of short story writing and researching it. And the first thing in the book. Hold on, let me look it up. Short story writing. The short story writing novel. I'm not bringing up his name right now, but in the book short story writing, he's a prominent teacher of writing. First scene was of Seinfeld and the car, and Seinfeld is one of the best TV shows to watch if you want to get a handle of short story writing, because it's very quick and everything is put together so tightly and they tell such a big story in just a short 20 to 25 minutes, around 20, 21, 22 minutes TV show. One thing happens and is followed through with something else, and it's all about the story is just very compact. It's one of the best examples of short story writing. Well, anyway, that was my idea of back in the day of what happens with polygraphs. Like, everybody got a polygraph. You're taken up, you're arrested, you take it to the police station, and they do a polygraph, and they could eliminate you right away, whether you've done the crime or not. But no, that's not the case. And if you do not know, in Trinidad and Tobago, there are such basic ideals for solving crime that are not incorporated in our system, and then you have alongside that corruption and hundreds of murders. It's beyond my thinking. Anyway, back in the day, a few years ago, when I first became a security guard, I was like, one of the things I was actually glad to have been posted at Malik Secondary, because I used to frequent there. Anything happening in community, sometimes they'll have little things at Malik. So plus two, I studied white up there. So that's a youth training and employment partnership program. I once thought I would do all the courses there. That never happened. And so what happened at Mike was that the bell would ring on time, all the time, right through. And I thought that it was when I didn't go to school there. I went to Bishop Anstey, which is considered a prestigious school here in Trinidad and Tobago. So I attended Bishop Anstey, but well, years after that, I did white up down I studied typist, receptionist there at Malik, and I thought, yeah, Malik was a good school. I don't know why didn't go there, because what they would do is that when you do exams here in Trinidad, lots of times the government would zone you for the area that you're from, and it wasn't your grades that will get you into bad schools. Once you go to a bad area, they will put you into a bad school. And they did that with all of my family members. So you had to do the exam a second time to in order to be able to be placed in a better school. So that would happen with all of us. We were placed in schools in the area, Laventille, where we're from, and then when we had to go and do the course again, the exam again, and then you will be placed in a better school. It's like a part of our lifestyle once you live in this area. Anyway, yeah, but when I went down there, the teachers were nice and friendly. The school children were great, and it was just a nice, lovely school, and it was a nice, lovely people. And I was like, why didn't I go to school there? This didn't make any sense. And it was a sixth form school. They've since lost their sixth form ranking, and I guess because it's a gang, the gang filled area got worse with the brutality of crime, that it just went downhill from there, and it's surrounded by a criminal activity and crime happening. I don't even see the children as being a problem. It's a very nice student body. They're not rude, and yeah, I can't say it's not like I remember being watching this cat. I remember watching stories on, I believe a CNN was carrying a TV show where it talk about the gang life in America, and I know that some children here in Trinidad have it rough, but I don't even see that happening to them. Anyway, I'll have to say that at the end of the day, that's why I was glad to be placed there. I saw the school and what had transpired through the years. It had been gotten run down in bad condition. It was not being kept. The upkeep was bad. There's no upkeep of the school. Things were just falling apart. Bad, no furniture, nothing. And I felt well sorry for those children that they were good students, but they were placed in a bad school. At least that's how it had come, a rundown school, and there were no activities, no nothing. You get your little skirmishes once in a while, but it wasn't as if it was gangland life. So yeah, that is how it was, and I appreciate it because I would be passing along and I would hear the bell ring, and my conception of the school, it was really, it was, I just thought it was a good school. It used to be a good school, but it's not anymore, and feel very sad that they're putting good students in that school. And it was a school, I have to say, that back in the day, you could go to Malik, and other persons agree with me, you could go to Malik, a bad student and end up a good student. It would really build up students. They had extracurricular activities. A lot of footballers came from that school. They had Scrabble and all these they just had stuff for students to do. Now they don't. Right? And I'm just like, where my money going? Seriously, that is how you think when you see things like that going. I'm not bad talking the government, though. I am going to link what's happening to me to the government. It is not like it's not like, where's my money going? You understand? I want to see the school become better and everything, but these schools in our area has always had a legacy of having bad teachers, but it didn't used to keep the students down. Understand? Like, I was talking to someone the other day who went to Malik, and she said that had a teacher there teaching accounts or something, would come, write one line on the board, and leave. It have teachers in all the schools that would come and their session come to teach, and they're sitting down in the student in the teacher's lounge. They're not going to class to teach. But it wasn't a situation where it would keep the students down. But now it's just the teach. It just seems that the teaching service and the school itself is a burden to the students that are there, and it's just sad. But anyway, yes. But if I was to be truthful, like I said, my whole harassment started at Malik when I became a security guard, and I just lots of things would happen where my jewelry would go missing. They'll go in my bag and tell me what's in the contents of my bag. My devices would go bad, and I was told that once that if I was asked if I had gotten my laptop wet. Excuse me. So it's a wrong idea, wrong bad of me to carry my laptop and my stuff to the compound. But I just thought that, to become a security guard, you don't have to do much to become a security guard. So I just thought that these were the bottom of the barrel, and they just weren't. They just that was in their personality, and that is why they were security guards. I know that sounds kind of uppity, but yeah, that's what I thought. Well, more than uppity, just like if I'm, yeah. So anyway, a lot of nonsense ensued, and so, but like I said, at the same time too, I practice avoidance. So if something bad happened to me, I wouldn't go yelling and getting on with the person. I might report it because it was something important, like my pocket diary gone missing. I remember once I reported that. Once someone there took my stuff and threw it in the drain. And it's not just a regular drain. This is a ravine. So this is a ravine that gets flooded and everything, and they just took my stuff and put it in the drain. So another thing too I realized long time is that they were just trying to make me get on and argue with them, which is just not my thing. Like I said, I practice avoidance, but at the same time I'm just not that kind of a person. So it was going on and on and on, with just them going and doing more and more, trying to get me to do things. So that is in my mind what happened with the whole mature sing situation. That is why I 100% believe it was a setup to say they wanted to start to make it seem as if it was an argument and to attack me and to make it come out like a fight. It was no fight. It was just him punching my face and strangling me, first yelling at me as soon as I reached the compound. And another thing too is that his eyes shifted so thing, and he tried to come in front of me. When I turn around and leave him, he would come back in front of me and try to block my way, and just blocking my way so I couldn't leave or move away from him. So that's why I always thought it was a attack. But before then, like I said, I was already being harassed by other officers on the compound. I mentioned that once there was this inspector, his name is Mathura Singh. I don't know what's happened to him since then, but the inspector at the time that was in charge of the compound, his name was Mathura Singh. And as a security guard would go, a female security guard would go driving around with them, and driving around with him, and then another one would go inside his truck or whatever and drive around with him. And then all of a sudden, I and someone else who didn't go driving around with him would end up having to do duty at dangerous locations. Where we were was a dangerous location, but we kind of knew it, so it's close to home. And like I said, I frequent there. But there were this other school, I believe it's called Mova Secondary. It's a school where a student was set on fire while traveling in a car. traveling up. So it was a huge thing at the time. Um, you can look it up. So a student was attacked by Molotov cocktail. They were in the a car, and another gang member saw him, and they threw a Molotov cocktail, like a lit bottle with gasoline or alcohol in it, at him and burned this poor boy to death. It was real sad. So it is that school in that area that I was supposed to do duty at night. This is where I believe it all things started, where I believe I should say what's happening. I believe what's happening to me has happened to countless other female security guards. That this is nothing new. This harassment is nothing new. I should have brought a cup of tea or water, but anyway. This is where I believe that is nothing new. That the night that night where I was supposed to do duty at this very dangerous location. Normally you do duty not by yourself but with someone else. That person was supposed to come and they did not. So this is the ironic thing about it. So I was there at this location and as to this person wasn't coming. I was informed, I can't remember if I was informed by a security or another security officer, or just that time had passed and I realized, oh, this person not coming. Because at the end of the day, like I said, it's a dangerous location, so not a lot of officers would actually show up to do duty there, where gang members have actually killed the children, and in broad daylight. Right, in broad daylight. That's when that attack was, and wasn't the first. I don't believe it's the last. Anyway, so okay, so you have a location where they're burning children to death and bombing them. So security guards aren't going to show up. Not all of them do want to show up in that location. You just missed your day, right? Okay, or your night. Because it was a night duty and I was supposed to do night there, and I was just thought like I was being made a fool of, to say that wasn't even my location. And so I called my mom and I spoke to her and I let her know what I was doing. I to try to find somebody to come and pick me up, because that is what I was told to do in those kind of situations. That you put a note in the station diary, let them know you feel unsafe. You let them know it's a location that had no lights, and you didn't feel safe being there, and that you're not staying or whatever. Reprimand me if you want. I'm not staying in that location by myself. I'm not in EC. I don't have a weapon. So anyway, I called my mom. I told her to find somebody to come pick me up. Next thing you know, I think I got a call, someone telling me that, oh, don't worry, someone's gonna come and sing, blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, and I was like, who is this? Yeah. So this person called me, tell me to hold on tight, and I later on I just was being made more a fool of, because it was the sergeant who drove up there like early in the morning. So the whole night went by and I still stayed there the night by myself. And the sergeant came rolling up, and I had to go and stay in it. He said I had to sit down with him in the back seat to the whatever. Can't remember anything. I was just so annoyed, because I was prepared to walk off the location. Next thing you know, somebody come and do me something, which is something you always have to worry about, 100%, especially in Trinidad and Tobago. But anyway, I went to greet him, and he pulled out his phone to think. I'm like, what are you doing? And he pulled out his phone and he pulled up a video of some other security guard in a a female security guard wearing her beret or whatever, and she was greeting another MTS worker, security guard, female. And he was playing this video, and the way he was talking to me was like he was warning me against something, and I was like, well, like what is going through my head is like, what do you feel he's saying? Cause I know I have a degree in IT, I don't have to be here, I just said I do this nonsense by choice. Okay, so but it's only because of this harassment that I'm getting right now that clicked in my head that this is something common that happens to women all the time. That this is what had happened to that woman in the video that the sergeant pulled up to warn me against. And another thing too is that I didn't even understand what he was warning me against. I was at the location by myself. They sent him to saying that he was just, I think he was just upset that I thought he was just upset that he had to come and stay by me and stand down here in this location, that kind of thing. But it's only until like months later that my mom told me that she called the base, and I was shocked. I didn't even know if she called the base and tell them her daughter's at whatever location by herself, yada yada yada. And I was so upset because it was like you come and report me, and like it's like there was an episode of I remember another TV show, Everybody Loves Raymond. There was an episode with Raymond's brother, who's a police officer, and the mother called his person in charge of the police concerning him and his about his job and stuff. And that was really embarrassing for him. I think she wrote a letter, something. So I was like feeling the same way. I like, oh my gosh, this is my job, and you call the base to argue, but to complain, it is just so embarrassing for me. Anyway, it wasn't though until this, what I'm doing here and what's going on with that is what the sergeant was warning me against and threatening me against, really. He threatened me because I had contacted the base, and it's kind of like I contacted the person in charge of him to tell on them that I was there by myself when I wasn't supposed to be. So, excuse me. So this, give me a second. Yes, I'm sorry about that. So that's the cat. Okay, so yeah, so that woman that in the video that the sergeant brought up to threaten me is me. No, it's not me literally, but that woman went through the same kind of nonsense that I am going through. So me going to the police and bringing up, telling them, about. First of all, I didn't contact the police when it happened. That's in the first thing. So it's like in both situations, I was threatened and I'm being harassed right now for this situation for something that happened to me that I didn't even report in either circumstance. In the circumstance with Mature Singh, when he strangled me, I didn't contact the police. Someone else did. A concerned citizen did. And with this situation, my mom, she's the one who called the base and complained, and I didn't call the base and complain. I couldn't walk out of there because of the time when I realized that nobody was coming to do duty alongside me in that area. But I wasn't going to it never occurred to me to call the base. Remember, I practice avoidance. even with what the harassment that's happening now. The way that they're harassing me is they want to make it seem as if, you know, I'm crazy. I'm not. I'm seeing things. You know, this is not happening. That's not happening. But I am going to break down in particular order the harassment and what has been going on in my life for the past 3 years as orderly as I can. I know I come here a lot and I start to talk and I babble and then I look down at the list of things I was supposed to talk about and I didn't talk about any of those things. So yeah. I think for the most part I have spoken about what's been going on, and I welcome all of you great minds out there listening to me. You can write your own story about what I, because from what I have been experiencing, I am writing Moko Jambi. Moko Jambi is supposed to be a horror. I've never dealt with writing horrors. When I was younger, I used to read a lot of horror, and since then I wouldn't watch a lot of horror. I mean, I watched it when I was really young, and I wouldn't actually gravitate towards watching horror. And what do you call it again? There's horror and there's what do you call it? There is grotesque or whatever you call it. There's the horror and there's the one with the bloody, like the purge and stuff. So that's different than from horror, right? So um I wouldn't gravitate towards either of them. But if there is a thoughtful horror out there, I would watch it. I would like, oh yes, I have to watch that. I watch all the horror shows that are on Netflix because it's just interesting to me. Not because it's laced with romance, but because I just find it intellectually exciting to watch. And I wonder about these ghosts and like what they're thinking. Oh, I am also going to attempt to, well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a very short film about the time when my grandmother, visited me when she passed on. They say that the dead, when they died, if they come and they visit you for like 6 to 7 days after they die, or 9. Yes, well, I experienced that when I was younger, when my grandmother passed on. Um, I am going to do a short story about that. I just feel I have not diversified in my what I've been writing recently, and I'm hoping that all this stalking and all this harassment and all this nonsense that has been going on around me, kind of giving me inspiration to do more, because I get the impression that I was sent here for these people to harass me so I could expose what they're doing in a way that no one else, I think, is being harassed can do it. Who else is going to write a story and link it to the Trinidad and Tobago government? Because this is what I see it. Every time as I'm harassed and the nonsense is going on, what goes through my head, because I'm such like a sycophant. I was a sycophant, not anymore. I keep thinking, well, I can't believe I voted for these same people who are harassing me. I can't believe it. I can't believe that this is the case. This is not, I'm not going to say the party's name because they will say that this is a political thing, but it's not a political thing. This is what goes through my mind. Just like when something happens that I don't like, that they spend money on, I'm like, this is where my money going. So that lots of time happen. Like when we lose water, I'm thinking, this is the people I vote for. You see people who not giving me water. So that is what goes through my mind whenever I think about this. You understand? And then, if it wasn't my party, what would really, oh my gosh, I hope that this doesn't come like out as an echo, because I realized that all the mics were on for a good bit. If this comes up and I echo, I'm gonna have to squash this whole thing and start over, and hopefully bring it down to 20 minutes tomorrow morning. Okay, so that is what goes through my mind. What goes through my mind is that I can't believe that I voted for these people, that this is the same people that are doing this to me. I can't believe it, and I wasted my time, my money, my effort. Anyway, I think I'm the only person who could do this. I seriously believe that. I seriously believe that I'm the only person who could do this, because no one else would think to just take what's been happening and going on and put it in the form of a book and talk to you about it as if it's plainly speaking what's been happening, and not caring if you believe me or not. That's what I see. Okay, I'm going to stop this right now. I'm going to play it to see if it sounds like a double audio echo, and if it is, I don't know if I'll let this play or if I'll just make it private or give it to somebody to clean. Thank you, my lovelies. I'd much rather write during the day. So I'm mourning this week. I will write part 2 of Moko Jumbie. I know it's going slow, but I've just had to like come to terms with what's been going on and the pet killings that these people are doing around me. And like I said, it's just a whole pappy show. But I will explain to you layered, succinctly, exactly what's been going on these past few years. And I encourage you to Leah Remini and someone else is have been doing some podcasts on YouTube. I hope that you pay attention to it and listen to what she's been going through, because it's really a sad state. It's really sad.